Is this thing on? Hello? Hello? Oh, man. Funny comment today. I don't know we're supposed to start the podcast right now, but somebody called in. I'm not sure if it was it Hank? I forget, during the show. And he's like, hey, I've got you on, you're on TV. Oh, it was Johnny, I think. Johnny was saying I was on TV. I'm like, hi, Mom.
Yeah, you did. You went, hi, Mom.
So my mom was watching.
No way.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Hi, Thomas. How are you doing?
Oh, podcast Thursday. Amazing. 71 degrees in North Texas today. After work, went for a little bit of a motorcycle ride and promptly parked it, plugged it into the battery tender because Monday morning is going to be like -6 with the wind chill. So it's times
they are a changing.
Yeah, big time.
There's a big difference between -6 and 71, and on a motorcycle you feel every bit of that change.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Leathers can only do so much for you. There's a point where any exposed skin just freezes and just breaks and falls off.
Yeah, terrible. I'm a baby on my motorcycles. If it's my threshold is 50 to 52. With the gear I have and the layers I can wear to be comfortable and not, like the Michelin Man, too bundled up to where I can't control the bike. And then it also cloud cover or sun, wind, all that. So it's a change. But no, it was 70. And typically I try not to do too much after work before the podcast. I just kind of relax, maybe grab a snack and just hang out. But like it's 70, it's about to be full blown winter here. And while that happens, we're headed off to Colorado for our ski trip.
Sweet.
So nothing with the bike. So I'm like, I need to just get on it and go for a little bit. And I'm glad I did. It was a lot of fun. Mrs. Weather Watch was working on another property we had doing some stuff. So I surprised her by pulling up and, hey, she's like, what are you doing? Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here to help. Perfect timing. I went, nope, got to go back, get ready for the podcast. Just saying hi.
You're me under the bus. I'm the reason.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. No, I'm glad you got a ride in. Glad you got some good weather. It's been a rough week in various parts of the country. Florida with the tornadoes we saw down there. Couple other big ones that hit here and there across the country. And it's not over.
It's not over. We've got round 2. And this one's the tornado outlook isn't as high, but it's high enough to be scary. But the spooky thing about this, especially East Texas, Louisiana, Southern Arkansas, those areas, they face stuff tonight, nocturnal activity, early morning hours between like midnight and 3, 4 in the morning. And then it's just going to kind of slide to the east from the early morning to tomorrow into the late afternoon. So that's never good. Nocturnal activity is always a little bit more scary.
My nocturnal activity is very low.
Same.
I just if snoring counts, that's what I do. But yeah,
I'm in the same boat. That's usually what makes a
I think Mother Nature's cheating by like, hey, I'm gonna have a tornado and I'm gonna do it when they're not looking and it's gonna be dark and they can't see it coming. That's just not fair.
No, that's
when you've got the power that Mother Nature can deliver with some of these incredible storms, and you combine that with the the cover of darkness. Granted, thankfully technology, radar, you're able to sit at a computer and see something that outside the guy with the observer wouldn't be able to see. But
right, but that's also there's also a flip flop too. So there's a reason they still have storm chasers and storm spotters, because they call that ground truth. What they see, they're calling in, because they can actually see and pick up a lot of things that radar can't. When there's real heavy rains, you got rain wrapped tornadoes, things like that. It gets difficult. Tornado radar can have some blips and errors, especially in a lot of parts of the country. There's a lot of what they call radar holes because there's not enough radar centers set up in towers. So ground truth, it's a big thing. So they're recruiting spotters all the time to get on the ground to watch and to get on ham radio, get certified to be able to call it in and report it.
I need to renew my license. It lapsed. My license lapsed.
Did it really?
Yeah, I think I'm. Hey, kitty.
So that's not Pickles.
No. I like how he sits there with the paws up,
Yeah.
like he's ready to just whap, whap.
He's actually he's a cool cat. He's
Um,
just like Pickles, showed up, never left, and we never let him inside until we did, and so here he is.
my youngest one today, Mrs. R.A. went shopping, right, and my youngest one went with her and grabbed one of those big 72 slice packs of pre-cooked bacon. Okay,
Yes,
and
I love the pre-cooked bacon.
oh
By
my
the way,
goodness, good stuff.
it's a
If you
game
have not
changer.
done pre-cooked bacon, some people are like, "Whoa, I'm not sure. I'm not sure." No, do it. Do it. Cold, hot, doesn't matter. It is good. Ready to eat, like it says on the package, all the time is good.
Yes.
So he gets that. He brings it home. He's sitting right here next to me, so he's gonna. I'm telling this story. He brings it home, opens it up, and like grabs a huge, like 12 pieces or something, goes out to feed the cat.
No, a whole
Yeah,
pork hide.
yeah. Like $10 worth of bacon. Here, kitty. I don't. Did the cat want? Did the cat want the bacon? Did it eat it? You did eat the bacon. Okay, it's a fan. I'm sure it's not good for it, so we're not going to repeat that. But yeah,
Oh,
it's never going to eat cat food again. Once it's got a taste for like good Smithfield smoked bacon. Mm,
well, it's got
everything,
a
everything else is just.
devoted bag of rotisserie chicken, and now it's got a whole pork hide dedicated to it. This cat, he's like, I'm not going to go inside and ruin what's good. I'm not going
To
to
try cat food. No, I mean, it's just yeah.
if I said that, if he'd be good.
No,
Oh, that's too funny. That's awesome. No, that bacon is phenomenal. So obviously, a good thick cut bacon you cook yourself is a bit better. But
Yeah.
oh my goodness, in the mornings pre-work, uh, I don't get up for 2 hours before work and exercise and shower and meditate and stretch and do everything else you do to get ready for the day. I'm a last minute guy for work. So I throw some of that bacon in the microwave, wrapped in some paper towels for like
10,
20 seconds.
10 seconds, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like 20 seconds if you got like 15 pieces. How many do you eat?
Not as much as Pickles a cat, but I'll eat a couple of them
Okay,
at a time, and then throw it in with a tortilla and a little bit of cheese and throw an egg in
mm,
there. So it's phenomenal. But
yeah.
it is more pricey to get that stuff than the other, but it's time and time is money. So that's where you
I
save it.
tell you, it's almost sixes when you do the math with getting 72 pieces. If you do, any store does this. They make it almost impossible to compare apples to oranges, right? Pre-cooked bacon to not cooked bacon. I mean, it's sold by the pound. This one's sold by the slice, and you're trying to see how much am I really getting? How many slices do I get in the raw bacon that I have to cook myself? I think if you do the math, it's almost even. Somebody was saying that they want your YouTube channel, and I just turned on the command, so you should be able to type exclamation point WW, get Thomas's YouTube channel.
Oh, perfect. And so I've tried to vow to go live or make more videos this year. So I actually did a live just the other day. It's a little bumpy, a little rough, but we did it. And thank you for everyone that tuned in.
It was so
Tom-
good.
Tomorrow, no,
It really was.
you're just a good friend. Tomorrow, I do plan on going live again, all based off of timing and what's going on. Because again, the severe weather system, that low pressure system that's moving from west to east is coming
Have
through.
them send someone with more experience.
Like Ryan Hall. You should watch him.
That was not me. I don't know who did that.
No, I know you triggered it. I don't see it. No, I'm kidding. So depending on the timing of tomorrow afternoon's events, again, there's gonna be severe weather in the early morning hours tomorrow, but it's going to continue on moving southeast or southeast and the northeast in the afternoon. So I plan on doing another live again for those that want to show up and come hang out. Won't be long, but we'll talk a little weather and see what's happening. So
And anyone who's watched one of Thomas's lives, he is phenomenal. As you know from the podcast, he's just an amazing presenter. Personality
When are we
is
going to
great.
break for lunch, Greg?
You guys are impatient. A lot of this, but very very smart weather-wise as well. And so it's always great. And just where else can you be talking to the weatherman and then say, hey, well, what about this? And Thomas, like, hey, let me drill down for you and show you exactly when you're going to have problems in your area.
Somebody just sent me a video of roaches fighting. I don't know who won.
I don't know. The commands are 100% open.
Because he's the guy.
Yeah, they're all. I'm going to have to turn them down here in a bit. I tell you what I did. I found the setting on the commands that makes them not stack on top of each other.
Oh,
It
so
makes
when
them not
everyone
stick
hits
to
one
a
and they
key.
all
Yeah, so they should, for the most part, all the ones that trigger audio should wait their turn and then be played one at a time. It'll cause it to be a little slower because they'll stack up in the queue, and it might get a little, a little weird. But
Right.
I haven't done NR yet. I need to fix that one.
Having
You're
sent
talking
someone
about
with more
stuff that
experience.
is not relevant.
So it doesn't wait. NR doesn't wait. But we'll get the rest of them. Anyway, it's been
Scratch
a year.
all that. Oh, that was terrible. I apologize.
Yeah, you guys are doing
Okay,
it.
we're gonna
It's been a
get
year. I should probably do something to increase the production value on the stream. Just a
we're gonna get
All
sloppy.
right. This is going quiet. We're going to just turn that right down right there. But no, right? I didn't see any dad jokes on the rundown for today.
Well, no, I never put them on there. I've got my sheet right over here with some. I've got already. I just
Okay,
just in case. I
Sound
never.
effects are off. Sorry, they drive me nuts. You just have a spare few jokes. You remember? Let me. I might have to surrender my man card here. But have you ever watched Pride and Prejudice?
No, I don't think I have. It rings a bell loud and clear, but I don't.
Like we're talking the BBC version with
No.
Mr. Collins,
Mm-mm.
the priest dude, and he practices his jokes. He has these one-liners. He tries to deliver at the table, and he delivers them. They're awful. And the one of the other hosts is like, so do you practice them? And he's like, I do practice, but I try to give him as most unstudied and air as possible. So it just seems natural that he practices in front of the mirror all his jokes.
Yeah.
So that's anyone who practices dad jokes. You just have to just roll with it.
Yeah, you're gonna get booed either way, so you might just make it el natural. But jumping back to the cat, Pickles is doing good, is eating great. Everyone just saw our one of cats, Finn, who jumped into the screen there. He's angrily marching around the ground next to me, trying to look to get back up here. But speaking of animals and pets, so all of ours but one is a rescue, either from the Humane Society or they showed up, and we tried to find the owner, and no one said, yeah, it's ours. Actually, one house did say it's ours, and he came back, and we told them, and they said, keep him. The cat, actually, you guys saw. So
The cat chose you. He was
Yeah.
the winner.
we dropped him off one night, and he came back the next morning, and we told them, and they said, yeah, he's all yours. But so we're big on rescue and adoption, all that, and if you can. But funny, we've got a story where we had a doggo tried to make a break, some sort of husky mix, tried to make a break from his rescue center in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
But not only did he try to make a break, he broke out, and then he began to start unlatching all of his counterparts' pens so they could get out with him. And there's video.
This is what happens when you get in like a food fight in junior high. Okay, when you're at the lunchroom and you're throwing food, you really need to get everyone else to throw food as well, or else you're going to get in trouble. In this case, the dog was just like, look, I'm out, but on my own, they're going to know it's me.
One for all and all for one.
We need to bring some more, some conspirators, co-conspirators in this mix.
100%. So he does, he succeeds. A few get out, but then they smell food and they start bombarding the food. But while they're doing that, food is spilling onto the floor, but also it's after hours. So it's setting off the security alarms to the rescue center.
So SWAT shows up.
Police shows up. Yes, 100%. So police show up, and they're treading, they're looking around, they're investigating, and they don't see any foul play. Everything's contained inside, right? There's no vehicles anywhere. And so they enter, and they, sure enough, they find dogs that got loose, and they find a mess. So the cop puts the dogs back, and then he's got broom and dustpan, and he's cleaning up all the spilled food all over the rescue center's floor. He cleaned up the whole mess that all the dogs made.
Dogs will clean up food. They have a Hoover mode.
Yes.
That's if you just leave them on their own. First of all, they will clean up food. If you leave them too long, they will then make another mess. So
Right.
there's a fine line between the feeding and the putting them back in the kennels, or else you've got a serious cleanup to do. But
He should have just left him out for a little bit and hung out, and they would have cleaned everything else up. But good on him though. He showed up for the alarm, found what it was, put the dogs back, cleaned
Went the
up the
extra
mess.
mile.
Yeah, went the extra mile. But funny, the dog, like you said, had the wherewithal to go. It's not just me. I'm gonna get some accomplices in this mess. Start hitting gates and letting them. It's so funny.
Yeah, I like going to animal shelters. I don't adopt animals. I mean, I adopted a cat, but not from an animal shelter. It adopted me. But I like going to the animal shelters. We've got one around here that's a hound shelter, and it's they don't adopt anything out. It's a permanent home. They take dogs from an animal shelter that we're going to be put down, and they're all hunting hounds, because back out here in the east people hunt with dogs,
Right.
and when the dogs get too old, they let them go and just leave them, or they turn them into a shelter. And these aren't pets, right? They haven't lived a life where
They're working dogs.
they're working dogs, and so they give them a forever home out there. And it's so much fun because they turn them into family dogs, even though there's a pack of dogs. You go out there and there's like 30 dogs, and the hounds, that's I don't do it justice, obviously, but it's a lot of fun. Made a video out there. It was really good.
That's
we
awesome.
should probably focus more on the podcast than what
Well, it's a not relevant podcast, so
it is.
anything. Oh, he's about to make another cameo. He hates me a lot.
I missed Tommy's question. I was looking everywhere for it. I cannot find it. So if you saw one, or Tommy, post the question again. We'll see if we can answer it.
Oh, from
I'll try to keep an eye on chat a little bit closer.
I saw it earlier, but it's been a bit okay. Let's see. Nothing. Hey, the cat's playing with my mouse. he's legitimately, his head is right. He's fighting.
He understands the assignment.
It's a house cat with technology.
Yep.
Yes, I don't get the real thing, so I want to play with this one. Absolutely nuts.
I'm looking for, if you see Tommy, let's see, Tommy, where's your question?
Got it.
You got it. Okay. It asked if you're truly allergic cats or just not a fan of them. Truly allergic.
And your kids too, right?
I can pet the cat. I'm not nearly as allergic as my son or my wife. I can pet the cat and spit out there. It can sit on my chest, but if it like touches my face, if it like pushes its face up against me or something like that, my eye just swells shut. It's like zoop, done, game over. But it's the more I've been around it, sort of like this, the less the allergy has been prevalent. So I pet the cat, brush everything off, clean up, wash hands, and then we're good. But I come inside and I'm good, and then my son, he just swells up like a balloon. So I'm like, sorry, not my problem now. But
my dad was the same way. He was allergic forever, and we had a mostly outdoor, partially indoor cat. But as Johnny was a cat, looked like Garfield, got older, it became more of an indoor cat. So it knew my dad was allergic, right? So it avoided us and went and laid at my dad's feet when he's on the couch watching, TV. We're like, out of all the people. So it started, my dad would like use his foot to like pet the cat. Like, all right, man, I'm going to
that's
explode.
how it started.
Yeah. And then the cat's like, okay, inch forward for it. So then my dad would like pet the cat. And then of course my dad's like sneezing, coughing, just dying. And so he's washing off every night. But
the EpiPen, you're like, hit him.
But never kick the cat out. It was just rinse, repeat every night. Like, okay, I'm going to suffer for a good hour, but I'm going to appreciate you as a cat. And you're here. So
that's cool. Lois, we gave away the 10 memberships the first podcast of each month. So next month, the first podcast of February, we'll have another 10 to give away. YouTube only gives me 10 a month. So we'll do that.
But thank you for the early reminder, because we'll probably forget again. So
I will. I'll forget for sure.
I will too.
That is, if I can do a weird transition here, the YouTube for me was an interesting discovery. It's been a year, right? And being on YouTube was something that I didn't think was going to happen. I was looking for a job at the time. If anyone, show of hands, have you looked for a job in the last couple of years? It's interesting. The world is different now. Obviously, it's different now than it used to be. But there is one job that I know from being a kid that's still out there, that they're still hiring for, and it was like the job to get.
Really?
Yes, and it's from a food company. It's working for a food company, on the road, driving the Oscar Mayer wiener truck. which is
Lord.
who else can say I drive the Oscar Mayer wiener truck? I've seen in my lifetime, I've seen the truck 3 times. Twice was on the freeway and it passed me. And I'm not sure if that's like an insult or like a point of pride. Like I got passed by the Oscar Mayer wiener truck.
No
It
comment.
wasn't a race. It was not a race. Once was in a snowstorm and it passed me in a snowstorm. And once was in the summer. And one time, only one time in my life, I actually went to a grocery store and it was parked in the parking lot of the grocery store. And I went all over. I was expecting some sort of like mascot guy that comes out like in like a baloney outfit.
Bologna.
I don't know who it was, but
How do you get Oscar Mayer hot dogs and bologna tied together?
it's all the same. It's just different shape.
You're probably right. Yeah.
The hot dog in a tube, that's the hot dog. On the flat slice, that's the bologna. But it's the same stuff that goes into all of it.
That's fair. I I have no argument on that one. That's for sure.
But yeah, the funny thing. Let's see. Jacqueline says, Did you apply? I have not, but apparently the company is hiring. I think they have more than one truck and they need more than one driver to go out and drive the truck around the nation. And it's like, hop in the truck. It's like a mini RV, right? I imagine inside it's probably much bigger than on the outside. And you know, all the space to stretch out and all the free food, you know, meat wise, all the cold cuts you can eat, and just tour the world in the Oscar Mayer wiener truck, and everyone waves at you everywhere you go.
So what I've seen, it's like a 6-seater airplane. Like it's 2 space 2 space 2. It's what the little cockpit looks like, right? But it's got like a glass sunroof or moonroof, whatever you'd call it, all the way through, which is pretty neat. Fairly spacious. I mean, it's kind of nice. But the thing is, they have like 7,000 applicants that come in, and I think so. It pays like don't quote me on this for sure, but when I've looked at it before, it's like $38,000 to $42,000 a year. But then you get like $150 a day for food when you're on the road, and I forget what the travel is. It's like 20,000 miles a year travel, and you're
That's a fair
responsible
amount of driving.
in a big giant hot dog, and you're responsible for like media updates. So when you saw them at the grocery store and you're doing your thing with kids and the pictures, you've got to upload them to the Wintermobile Instagram and like all that stuff. I mean, it's quite a bit, honestly, for the pay in the road time.
So you're a social media manager, account manager, and a full-time driver, on the road driver.
Yeah.
Of an RV.
It's quite a bit for what they pay, from my opinion, from what I read in on. But I feel like where they think they're justifying it is because they're like, but you're the driver of the Oscar Mayer Wintermobile.
Yeah.
So you got clout.
You can forevermore, you can claim this on your resume. You can be like, by the way, I drive the wiener truck.
Right.
That big long dog, hot dog you see on the freeway. That was me. I don't know. 34,000. I will tell you that 34,000 is a good rate for a smaller company media manager,
but not driving 20,000 miles a year,
but not also being a full-time truck driver.
Yeah,
and a public information officer and like the face of the company everywhere you go.
Right.
Wear the apparel, smile, shake hands, take the selfies. That's a bit much. It's like working at Disneyland and working at Walmart as a truck driver at the same time. Like you combine the 2 jobs. Where you go.
Yeah, it's almost like they know the popularity of it. Like we will 100% get someone that will take this pay and do this job, and they will love it, and we will get away with this.
I'm wondering if anyone is willing to sing the song, like the whole song, because everyone knows the song I'm talking about, the Oscar Mayer wiener song, right?
I don't.
I wish
I think you should sing it.
No. I'm thinking somebody should call in, because somebody is humming it now. It's stuck in their head, right? And they know all the words, and they're like, I sung that every time the commercial came on. I think the burner phone probably needs a call from somebody who's willing to serenade us with the sweet tones of their voice and the Oscar Mayer wiener song.
You know what? Let me see.
My baloney has a first name. Anybody? Amber saying yes. Here we go.
Oh boy.
I'm
trying to
seeing
see
it.
my
I'm
brother.
seeing it right now. Says Reverend Beasley. I'm seeing it right now, but I'm selfish. Let's see. Melissa, Pam.
Someone's got to.
I can hum part of it. There we go. Phone's ringing.
We got a bite.
Hey, Amber.
Uh-oh.
What song's on your mind? You want to make a request and then sing along to it?
What did I just do to myself? Oh, Lord. I've been singing it in the chat since y'all started with this whole bit. All right. Are you ready, Scott? You got to sing it with me. Thomas doesn't know it.
Okay, we're going to sing it, but it will sound on your end like we're not, because we have to do the mic separately or else it gets confusing, okay? So we're singing, but you won't hear us. Ready, set?
Well, I'll hear you because I still have my feed going.
Oh, you'll have to turn that off because it's going to be a delay.
You're not going to get me just by myself.
No, we wouldn't do that.
We would never do that.
Whatever.
To you. We would never.
Whatever. The guilty looks are.
Oh, I forgot.
Are yeah, the nod just came through on my end.
So yeah. Well, we'll have to leave it. If you don't want to sing, we're not going to make you sing. But do you have your own Oscar Mayer Wiener experience truck? You know, with seeing the truck in real life.
Well, no, but 6 Volt Bus does. It's in my chat.
6 Volt Bus. What did we miss?
It's in my chat.
Oh no.
All right, Thomas, have you really never heard the Oscar Mayer song?
I have, but it's been forever ago, and it's not one that ever stuck with me to where I remember it.
Amber,
it's the only reason I know how to sing or how to spell baloney.
Amber, we've got somebody willing to sing calling in. I've got to let you go.
Okay.
I
was going to do it, but I'll let them. Go ahead.
Okay. Here we go.
Call from
Lego My Briefs.
Lego My Briefs. How are you doing today?
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
So, me. Ready?
Go for it.
I wish I was an Oscar Mayer wiener. 'Cause that is what I'd really like to be. And if I was an Oscar Mayer wiener, everyone would be in love with me.
That is awesome. You are incredibly gifted and very brave.
If I knew how to spell Oscar Mayer, way to go, Lego.
Yes.
I could do a short Oscar if I don't know if I know it all, but hang on. My baloney has a first name. Hang on. Oh, yes. My baloney has a first name. It's Oscar. My baloney has a second name. It's Mayer, I think.
Yes. That sounds good.
I'd love to eat it every day. And when I do, I always say, oh, shoot. I'm a blank. So someone has to call in and finish it.
Someone has to finish the song. We're stuck here in limbo. Lego My Briefs, thank you very much. You sing beautifully, by the way. You're welcome to call in and sing jingles from companies anytime you want. We appreciate you doing that. Good to hear from you. You too.
Bye.
Oh, how does it end, Thomas? Are you gonna?
Just by the way, not sponsored. We need to make sure not sponsored. No. And Oscar Mayer, I'm sorry, not really looking for one. If you're going to be the one, we're
$34,000 a year is not going to cut it. We're not going to drive your truck for that.
Yeah, we're out.
Oops. Oh, let's see. Hang on. We just got a call from one Red Pen. I'm calling Red Pen back.
Red Pen's got it. Teacher. She knows all the games.
She hung up. We're not going to let her off this easy. She's probably trying to call me still right now.
Is that you?
Yes, it is. Oh. It's me.
Oh, there you are. Okay, so I got the voicemail.
Okay, so I didn't get your voicemail. You were calling in.
Okay.
Were you going to finish the Oscar Mayer song?
I have a horrid cold, so I'm not going to sing it. I will talk it. My baloney has a first name. It's Oscar. My baloney has a second name. It's Mayer. And if you, whatever it is, if you ask me why, now I'm botching it. If you ask me why, I'll say, oh my God, now I can't do it.
We're going to have to take another caller, Red Band. It was a good try. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Bye.
See ya.
Who's going to finish this thing
Call
off?
from
Karen, Ricky, I know the end of the song.
Karen, save us
know
here. We need the end of this song.
And by the way, just I'm not sponsored by Henry Ford Museum, but in Detroit we have the Wienermobile.
Hey, we're gonna need.
My baloney has a first name. It's Oscar. My baloney has a second name. It's Mayer. Oh, I love to eat it every day. And if you ask me why, I'll say, 'cause Oscar Mayer has a way with BOLOGNA.
There we go. Oscar Mayer has a way with baloney. Thank you. That was fantastic. It took a couple people.
Well, thank you for having me. My voice is a little cracky because we have snow here now.
Oh man, it's cold. But
in
now
Michigan.
You have warmed our hearts with that song, and now we're all
well,
craving
good.
baloney.
And now you know the lyrics, at least the Detroit version.
do they still use that same song? I mean, I'm not a big TV watcher.
If you go to the Henry Ford Museum and you hang out by the Wienermobile, they do. And they have a whole hot dog station. They serve like Chicago dogs, whatever dogs people have. Obviously, conies are our thing here. But yeah, it's awesome.
That is awesome. You did a fantastic job singing that. Thank you for completing the song
thank you.
for us.
I enjoy you guys. I love your podcast.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you being a part of it.
Thanks for bailing us out.
Have a good one. Stay safe.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We'll send the bill to Oscar Mayer later for all the free advertising they're getting. Thank you guys for helping us out with that story. And if you want to drive the Oscar Mayer truck, hit up the company. They're looking for drivers, $34,000 a year. You have to be good with social media. See the world from the inside of a hot dog.
From the inside of a window.
That doesn't sound nearly as good as it did in my head when I was putting that sentence together.
I will say I had no idea that story was going to turn into that, and it turned out way better because I almost took it off the script, saying, "That's kind of cool."
There's so much nostalgia to that for the, for me. I heard that growing up, and I honestly I didn't know the ending to that song either. I just remember my baloney has a first name, and that's I wasn't even sure about what the second name was, but hearing you guys do all that was fantastic. It brings me way back in the day, and I guess that takes us to our top 3 segment, which is also sort of nostalgia based, a look back. And so we're going to ask for a lot of participation from you all, because we're going to ask for the top 3 childhood TV shows. What were the top 3 childhood TV shows for you?
Disclaimer: this is going to date people.
And if you huddled around and watched the radio, you have to watch the wireless.
Hang on, let me adjust my antennas.
Yes, the rabbit ears on the back of the TV. Hey, we had rabbit ears. When I was a kid. I did not have a TV when I was a kid. Like, we didn't watch television. I had to run to my friend's house to watch TV.
Oh, okay.
My family just was not a TV family. Is that the cat?
Yeah. No.
Don't say it. It's a family show.
Yeah, I had to. I got a mute button. No.
Okay, so do you want to start with yours, and then we'll take a couple from chat, and I'll
do one because I saw someone threw in one of mine. So we always go top 3. In this case, I'm not going to have like 3 is my kind of favorite, 2's more. Number 1's the one. It just depends on. TV's like radio, right? Depends on the mood that you're in and kind of what you're doing. So one of them brings me back to summer times off from school. My parents were working. We always had frozen cookie dough in the freeze. Okay, I'm sorry.
Cat butt is featured predominantly on this podcast now.
It's just crazy. I would wake up in the morning and do the chores I had to do. And then by 10 a.m., I would sit on the chair with frozen cookie dough and a spoon and eat it. And I would watch Bob Barker on The Price is Right.
Bob Barker. Wow.
On The Price is Right. I loved it. I loved it. It was awesome.
Would you make guesses on the prices? And
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
were you ever right? I mean, did you get to be good at it?
Absolutely not, because I was a kid. So they're like, this washer dryer set. And I was like, $150. It's like $1,200. So I had no concept of real life. But for another podcast, have you seen the guy who learned how to cheat The Price is Right? And he won. He won the showcase multiple times. He cheated.
He cheated.
He studied the show. We'll do this another time, but it's a documentary.
Because they repeat, they reuse things, right?
Yes, he studied
memorized
patterns and he memorized pricing and everything they did, and he won and it came out. There's a documentary. Google it, find it, go look at. We'll do it another time. Don't want to get off topic, but
yeah,
Price is Right.
Price is Right.
Or
Bob
frozen
Barker.
cookie dough. What do you got? What's one for you?
Hang on. What kind of cookie dough?
Chocolate chip, always.
Chocolate chip. Okay.
Yeah. Or every once in a while, it was peanut butter oatmeal. But I loved it, but the peanut butter gave me heartburn, so I was always back to the chocolate chip.
They didn't have cookie two-step back then, but that is my new favorite, just for the record. Okay, so as a kid, when I got to go to a friend's house and sleep over at their house, and in the morning, like Saturday morning, we would have cartoons would be on, right? So that's when I got to watch TV as a kid, and I can always remember, by the power of Grayskull, I have the power. And He-Man with the big sword, that moment. If you go back and watch, I watched it again before the show. And He-Man doing his little flex thing where he suddenly turns into like battle mode, which is like some weird harness thing and mostly skin and a tiny pants. But if you go back and watch, his cat is terrified of being zapped by the things. Oh, not again. Don't make me fight. Anyway, so I'm going to say He-Man was, I don't know anything else about other than there was like a Skeletor dude, but I couldn't tell you anything else. Skeletor was the bad guy and He-Man was the good guy. And that was just, it was very impactful on my life. That I have the power with the sword thing.
It just stuck with you. That sword stuck with you. So it's funny. We say top 3, right? But there's so many. Jessica, great point. I remember Boy Meets World, Corey and Topanga, Love Life Forever, Looney Tune. There's so many.
What about like the Animaniacs?
This I was forced into Bonanza. My parents had TV. I was just so I had
Lonesome Dove every night.
A big one after school coming home was Saved by the Bell. Zach Morris and Kelly Kapowski, America's couple, just meant to be together. That was a big, big, big one for me. I loved it. You had Screech, you had AC Slater. I forget the other gal's name, but I loved it. And then they graduated and they went to work at the beach, the resort. And that's where the gal that starred on King of Queens nowadays, she was Zach's newer crush. That I don't know. I followed the whole thing and loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Nikki's got Rainbow Bright, Punky Brewster, Care Bears.
There's so many.
The Love Boat and Fantasy Island. Let's see.
My brother just texted me. Lisa Turtle. That was the other character there.
That was the other one.
He's listening. He's live. He's like, at least he knows.
I'll have to say, for my next one, the Twilight Zone. It was like, seriously, the Twilight Zone for me. I realized growing up without a TV, and anytime I saw a TV, the technology itself captivated me, and I just couldn't stop staring. I was watching.
Yeah,
it was like glued. It didn't matter. It was like a commercial. I'm like, whoa, moving pictures,
Right.
And so you get the Twilight Zone, like the Blue Wrench episode or something, and I was like, I had nightmares for weeks about that. It's like, what if it's real? What if that's how it really is?
Yeah.
How else would they have made a movie about it if it wasn't real?
Right.
But Twilight Zone for me, that was scary.
I'm sure that's going to be a big hit too. That's got to be a mass. Johnny Quest, yeah. Mary Tyler Moore Show. Outer Limits. That's a newer. Is that not a newer one? That probably just
Gilligan's Island. We might have to have people sing that one. Are you going to sing it? The whole thing?
No, that's all I remember.
No? Okay.
That was a good show. I do remember that one too. That was awesome. Three Stooges I see in chat. That absolutely. I mean, that's a home run. See now, chat's amazing. Get Smart. I totally forgot about that show.
I
But
don't
it
know
was
what Get
awesome.
Smart is. I've never seen that one.
I believe Melanie, correct me if I'm wrong. Was that not part of one of the Nickelodeon shows? I don't think it was Disney. I think it was. She'll correct me if I'm wrong.
How many of these are still on? Is Days of Our Lives still on? It's got to be like we've got the grandchildren of the original actors now up, right? So we've gone through the Not Relevant Podcast time 12. Adam, love it.
Nick at Night, Melanie said that's what that was for. So I'll jump into one of my later ones. Full House. I loved Full House. Aunt Becky,
the twins, right?
Yes, and Aunt Becky and Uncle Jesse and Uncle Joey. He did the cut it out thing all the time. And he was like the park ranger in episodes. So he always had the little beaver. And did somebody say what? And he would do the, I don't know. That was one of my favorites. I loved it.
Okay. The other one for me, this was I had a guilty pleasure. So it was He-Man when I went to Tim's house, but when I went to my friend Scott's house, we had the same first name, which we thought was really cool. But it really, they're like, no one knows who we're talking about when they say Scott. You know, it's like, yeah. Anyway, when I go to Scott's house, his parents would let us watch more action type films. Okay. So I got, I mean, they had like the good VCR collection of movies, but his house, we would watch Airwolf.
Oh, okay.
With the helicopter that chops and takes up out of the ground. I have no idea what happened there, but it's just the helicopter and the music. Man, I was like, this is the coolest show ever. I have no idea what the plot was.
You're right. It was just action. There's so many good shows. This is incredible. Chat is just exploding with so many good and different shows. I love Lucy. I was like, Lucy, I'm home. Texas Ranger.
Quantum Leap.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many good shows.
Oh, Knight Rider. Knight Rider with the car with it's the original AI stuff.
I got called out. Your talk shows my kids watch. How old are you?
He's a youngin'. He's just a kid.
38 next weekend.
Oh, MacGyver. MacGyver, who said that? KH.
Could save the world with a rubber band and a paperclip.
Yeah, a gum wrapper, just.
My brother and I
watched
loved MacGyver too.
I loved MacGyver.
Let's see. My brother's, he's chiming in here. Get Smart was a super old show, but Airwolf was the best. That's his chime. He texted me. He doesn't get in chat, so I gotta relay that.
Hey, Thomas's brother. You need to get up with the times. Jump in chat. Make a burner account. Okay, just for this, if you're worried about something.
He's an incredible musician, by the way. Incredible. And
so he could probably sing all the theme songs to these
to boot while playing instruments. And the best part is I'm terrible with dates. So I'm prepared to tell him happy birthday tomorrow. And he reminded me via text, it's today. I would have fallen asleep. I would have totally whiffed. Today is my brother's birthday. So happy birthday, big brother.
Now we're going to have to sing.
Happy birthday.
We're just, is it Tyson?
It's Tyson.
Tyson. Here we go. Tyson. We're going to do a sing-along for your birthday. Everyone, parts, loud voices, blend your voices. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Big Brother Tyson. Happy birthday to you. There you go. That is awesome. Tyson,
I'm the worst. I'm the worst brother ever.
Is that an award? I've got like the Father of the Year award for feeding my kids sandwiches for dinner, ice cream sandwiches during this last week.
Happy birthday, big brother. I love you. I miss you. I wish we were closer, but I'm glad I got to see you recently. So hope you have a great birthday.
Yeah. Thomas is a good brother. I think you'd tell us that. We know that. So
No,
You
there's a
can
reason
forget
he
the
doesn't get in
birthday.
chat. He doesn't want to speak the truth.
You can't handle the truth. Oh, that's awesome. Let's see. Did we do all three? Did you name 3 shows?
I did.
Okay. Did I name 3 shows? Airwolf was my last one. I think we'd made 3. I could go on. Mash always.
That's a home run.
That
Mash
was
always.
yeah, that was just good. Yeah, I felt like I was at the Army Navy store, like the surplus store. Anytime I was watching that, I was like, I've seen that exact tray of medical supplies for sale for like $10 at the store, the surplus store.
Right.
Anything you saw in that store, Jeeps, everything you can buy at the surplus store, which was just cool. It's like all these props are for sale. This is awesome.
We still have great shows coming in. People are agreeing with MASH, Matlock, Three's Company. Now there's some newer shows coming in, NYPD Blue.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
How about Alf? Did anyone watch Alf?
I saw that right out the gate when we announced the top 3. That was like the first show someone said was Alf.
The part for me in that one that really was great was the show about hiccups and how you get rid of hiccups. If you guys remember how Alf proposed to get rid of hiccups, but we won't. With your cat there and me now being a cat owner, we're not going to talk about that. So, Roy Rogers, Zorro, the original Zorro, Mission Impossible.
I remember Zorro too. That was a good one. Okay, this is off topic, but that's what our podcast is.
Yes.
Since we're diving back in, I'm going to go to a movie.
Okay.
And my brother will appreciate this too because we watch it together. And to this day, I still want to rewatch it. The original, The Rocketeer. Did you watch that movie?
No.
You would love it.
Is it the guy with a jetpack?
Yes.
I something tells me about there's a dude with a jetpack. I don't know, was he in a suit or something when he flew? I don't know. It was like an old movie, right?
It was old. He's a pilot and flying older plane. Well, they were older now, but they were then. And he finds this jetpack under the seat of an old airplane. And so he goes, "What's this?" And he and his mechanic are like, "What?" And he tries it and
he instantly knows how to fly.
No, he crashes a bunch
Okay.
bad. But the guys that own it are coming to look for it, and they got Uzis, and so it's a big thing. It's actually a great movie. In fact, I'm gonna watch it this weekend when this cold front hits and I have nothing else to do. My brother and I watched it all the time. And then they made it was so good, they made a video game on Sega for it. That's
Rocketeer.
yes, that's when he knew.
Is this like it's like a primitive version of Flappy Bird? I mean, what was
I don't remember because I'm so old. Next weekend, it's just beyond my time. But it was good.
that early onset Alzheimer's is really kicking in right now.
It's just full fledged. But it was a great movie for being that old. The storyline was awesome. The acting was actually still pretty good. Of course, there was a little romance wrapped in there because he had his girl. I think Jenny was her name and all that. But it was awesome.
Yeah. Lots of good shows. I mean, I don't remember watching all these, but a lot of the names are really familiar. Oh, talking about modern, The Office is one of my favorites.
Yes.
And it's in the Michael Scott era of The Office was what I just loved.
Oh, found one. Yes. Officer Poncherello and John, the 2 motorcycle cops, California. They were awesome. They did a movie after the show, which was nowhere as good as the actual show itself. Chips was amazing. There's so many good shows.
The original Addams Family.
Oh, Daily Pickles got a good one. Oh, chat's
Did it
just
scroll?
there we go.
Airplane. Oh, I'm not sure about that one. I'm not joking, and don't call me Shirley.
Oh, what about? I know you know this one.
What? The A-Team. Didn't they have Mr. T on the A-Team? Is that the same one?
I think so.
With the van?
Yeah. Oh,
I wasn't a big fan of that one. It was a lot of stunts and things, but I didn't watch that a lot for some reason. Maybe it's because my friends didn't like it and they had the remote.
Yeah, 6 Volt says yep. So
okay,
that's confirmed. Yeah, my brother confirmed. Yeah, Rocketeer was the best. Yep.
I have to go. If you're going modern movies, I'd have to say that you need Oh Brother Where Art Thou, Napoleon Dynamite, and Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Those three cult classics can tide you over for a weekend, and you can do it weekend after weekend.
Yes.
Your mom goes to college. I caught you this delicious bass.
We're halfway through the show, and we're
still
so
talking
far
about movies.
gone. We're so far gone. This is just
Oh man, good times though, man. I think somebody said in chat, I think I've watched too much TV. I believe I probably have as well, which is funny because my parents, growing up without a TV, we literally did not have a TV at home. It wasn't something we did. Yet between all the friends and everywhere we would go, I think I watched more TV than anyone who had a TV because anywhere we went somewhere was like, oh, cool TV, let's watch this.
right.
But
What's funny about that is people in chat saying you watch way too much TV, but I would think that all of us, including myself, because I get into chat and a part of the show is we all watch way too much YouTube. Because
I can tell you how much. 3 million hours in the last year. You guys watched too much YouTube.
There are people in chat that have been watching this YouTube channel since 9 o'clock this morning.
It doesn't give individual stats, but yeah, on days where we have something crazy happening, whether it's a manhunt or a big verdict, and 50,000 watch hours in a day, it's like this is incredible. You do the math. You divide that by 24 to see how many days worth of watching, and you're like, how many years of life collectively did we just waste together? That's not wasting because we're here with friends, we're having a good time, but it's funny to do the math sometimes and just try to put it all in perspective.
Just says I feel called out. Pot meet kettle, kettle meet pot.
Please don't judge my YouTube watching hours. These are good hours.
Everyone's running away. Viewers
it's like
dropping.
It's like the plaque that he had. My grandpa had, is like time spent fishing cannot be deducted from a man's life. Time spent watching YouTube also is exempt from that category.
100%. It's educational. It's much more than what's on TV.
Yeah. My phone tells me, says Cashet, my phone tells me I spend 18 hours a day on YouTube. I don't know. Does it calculate for Apple devices? Does it calculate all your devices together? Or is
I don't know. I refuse to look, so I don't know.
I'm also in the double digits, more than half a day online every day.
Backing up slightly, forgot about that show, Flipper. How did we forget Flipper?
One of the great trained animal ones. Wasn't there one? There was one with the mountain man, and he had like a bear, right? There was a dude who had like a trained bear, like a grizzly, and he'd like ride the bear like it was a horse or something like that. And
that one has completely escaped my memory.
Chat will bail me out on this one. I'm not sure. It might have been black and white. Grizzly Adams, was that it? Gentle Ben? Yeah, I think it was Grizzly Adams.
People are putting a lot of Grizzly Adams are getting thrown in the chat there.
Yeah, that just freaked me out because I know that this video was made at a time where the AI technology or the special effects that were not present. They actually had a bear on set. Okay, that's you just knew there's a real grizzly bear that this dude's riding around, and I hope he's been fed well and he doesn't
turn on it.
But
yeah. Grizzly Adams did have a beard. That's wherever. Yeah, everyone's going Grizzly Adams. I'll be dang.
Gentle Ben was before Grizzly Adams. Was it the same bear in both?
Got me on this one. I have a lot of research tonight after the show. I know that much.
We're all going to stay up all night watching old reruns of TV shows. Oh man. Hopefully we can get some cleaning done as well in the time. When we're watching TV, it's getting supposed to be productive. So
and incorporate animals.
Yes, animals and clean. Get your animals to do the cleaning for you if you're able to train animals. I have not been able to get my cat. I have been able to get my cat to do one thing. Well, two things. I've trained it to not come in the house, which is step one of survival for this cat. Because if it comes in the house, things change very drastically for its future. Step two is I've trained it to go to the bathroom at other people's yards, which if other people have dogs, I'm not a big fan of when the dog comes to my yard, right? I've been quite outspoken and vocal about that. But cats are different because they hide it, which I think makes it fair. You don't have to go around after your cat and dig up everything and be like, oh, sorry about this. Let me just dig in your petunia bed until I can find, what my cat left you as a surprise. So those are the two things. In this last rainstorm, my cat, having been fed way too much rotisserie chicken and everything else, it was like dumping down buckets of rain. And you could tell the cat was looking for a quick getaway to find a little patch of dirt, right?
Yeah.
And so it would head out to the edge and look, and it's like dark and lightning over there, and just dumping down rain. And he'd like go out into the rain and then turn and run back on the deck. And finally, I took my little flashlight on my phone and I turned on the light off the side of the deck. And he's like, "Oh, you light the way, sure." And he jumps off and he's like right into a puddle, and it's like back on the deck. Finally, he ran and hid under my neighbor's bush. And I could just make out that there was, some digging action going on. But I don't have to clean up after my cat. Cats are really clean type creatures. So I'm not sure why we're talking about that. Cat poop.
I don't know either, but the best part of the story is if we would rewind 3 to 4 weeks, it was the cat. And now it's my cat, my cat, my cat. Just a smooth transition into. I think that makes the world happy that Pickles, or Kiki as you call him, he has a home. He's well fed, and he now has an owner that claims him instead of calling him the cat.
He's found a place in my heart, and I'm the only one that, how there are like a couple, like there are like 3 places where it's safe to pet a cat, right?
Mhm.
Like on the top of the head, the neck and the back. Those are like the 3 places that are okay.
Where they can't reach you. Yes.
Right. I can pet the cat. I can like grab his paws. I can hold his tail. I can do everything, and it will turn and it will do the paws with the claws, but no scratches. Does not break skin. He'll bite me, but not. He'll just touch.
Right.
No blood. Freaks the kids out. And like, as long as you don't pull back and engage those one-way hooks into your hand, he's not trying to hurt you. But so yeah. Anyway, sorry. You talked about my cat and I went on a sidetrack.
Has he caught any mice yet?
Yes. And birds. And he brought them as gifts.
What? So there's the paw thing you were talking about on cue.
Yep.
Okay. So how do you just kick him out and throw him away? So he's in the headphones. All of our animals that love to sit in the office with me, pre-show, I usually kick them out, shut the door. But he and one of the dogs, Joe, they were begging to come inside. I said, all right, you guys come inside, just go lay down. And he did not get the memo. So that's why he's all up on the table. But speaking of mice, we've got a story about a mouse where a gentleman has a barn, and he's got birds that he likes to feed. So he obviously puts out bird feed. And then he noticed something was unusual. He'd go out and there were small things out on his bench in his barn that were kind of misplaced. But then he didn't really know did I put it over there? Did I move it? Where did I don't really know. And then he found an old pair of boots that he kept in his barn. And he started finding some of this bird feed in these boots. And he couldn't quite figure out what was really going on with this. So he's starting to think, okay, I probably have some barn mice or something that are tracking in food, eating it, whatever going with it. So he sets up a camera on his bench where some of his things were getting misplaced. And this little, people like what we call Mighty Mouse. Well, he's been nicknamed Tidy Mouse because the footage shows the mouse gathering things on the bench, taking them over and putting them all in a tray. He was picking up all the loose items that were left astray, gathering them and putting them back into a tray every single night. He was cleaning up. So Tidy Mouse was then born, and he's still kicking. He's still there in the barn.
That's awesome. You can train a mouse. I mean, I've heard like a pack rat, like ravens will sometimes, you can train a raven to pick up like money, which is the most amazing thing, because they'll look for like people dropped money and bring it back to you. Which I need a raven now, apparently. A whole flock of ravens. What do they call? Is it what's a bunch of ravens together? Like it's a murder of crows.
Yeah, it's a murder of crows. I'll get you here. It is a unkindness.
Well, if they were getting money for them, I would definitely call them a kindness of ravens if they're getting me money.
So a group of ravens is called an unkindness, but you can also refer to them as a rave, conspiracy, treachery, and a flock. Most people use the generic term flock of ravens. So
Flock of ravens.
no, oh God, see, he won't leave.
Mrs. R.A. says, I wish I could train my kids to do that. She also wishes she could train her husband to do a little bit of cleanup. She has been teaching me about the clothes on the floor in the bedroom. That they she's taught me that they don't magically get from the floor to the laundry basket, which is 2 feet away. That there's actually a step involved there that I wasn't aware of, because I thought that it occurred it was like a vacuum thing. Maybe it was the mouse, late at night, an animal comes out and puts them in the basket, but apparently that does not happen. And she's been involved in that in some way.
I would argue there is a step involved, and that involves me stepping over them on the floor until you put them up.
Yes, she is asked very, very gently, very kindly, how many days I want to step over them like that, and if I thought that they were just magically going to appear back in my dresser, and no, they don't apparently. So I'm learning. Wow, a mouse like that would be quite handy to have. Mrs. R.A., can we have a mouse?
No, because you have a cat. That's not.
But the cat's an outdoor cat. We'd have an indoor clean mouse.
You bring a mouse in the house, and then you've got a cat coming into the house after the mouse in the house. Dr. Seuss vibes going on here, but I don't know what's going on.
Hang on. Mrs. R.A. just had a comment here.
Oh, I won't highlight it. Cachette Stuart Little, great movie. Absolutely. Scott, let me know the card doesn't match.
See, we have complementing abilities. I am able to just like I'm not sure if I can just telepathically understand when the car needs more gas, or if I just read the dash display when the light comes on and says I'm almost empty, but I'm able to always refill it on time. And she is not against trying to drive to Raleigh and back for 2 hours on an empty tank, because it's always worked before. I love her. She's amazing.
Oh.
Thanks, Mrs. R.A. I'll stop poking fun at you because I don't want to sleep on the couch tonight.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Clean mouse, clean house. I guess I don't get to have that, but man, lucky guy. I guess later in life, you should get all the good things. Right? This is how it works. I know kids nowadays, they expect everything that their parents or their grandparents have. They expect to get that, and there's like a sense of entitlement oftentimes.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get into the politics or the financials because we gave their kids a hard deal, right?
Right.
We had it easier. I mean, I did walk uphill in the snow both ways to school barefoot, but it was easier for us to do that because the snow was warmer when I was a kid. No, but when you're older, you should be able to enjoy life and get to do some of the fun things that you've done your time, right? Inheritance is not for just giving to your kids. It's for you to spend and then tell your kids about how you spent their inheritance. I think that's how it should be done. There's actually a lady in Utah for our final story that is living it up, really, and is just she's 92 years old.
She's like our skydiver.
Yeah, but she's not do the heights thing. She's out water skiing. She's out behind a boat, jumping the wake, doing some slalom.
At 92.
At 92 in Utah's Caribbean, which is Bear Lake. The article actually calls it Lake Bear because they've never been there. But if you've been there, it's Bear Lake, and they call it Bear Lake because there are 1 million bears there. 1 million. I'm not joking. They have raspberry farms all around the lake.
Oh, and
there are bears
prime.
everywhere. It's like 1 bear for every 2 people, I think is the ratio. But talking about Bear Lake, because I used to go up there and fish. They also have a little fish called the Cisco. And we're actually really close. It's January. Every January, about this time, probably in the next 10 days, they have something that happens. First of all, the lake freezes over because it's colder than it's really cold there.
That's a family show.
It's a huge lake. It freezes over, and you go out there with a chainsaw or something, and you cut a hole in the ice, and it's like you cut like a 2 foot by 2 foot hole in the ice, and then you get a dip net, and you sit there and you wait and you look down in the water until a little fish swim by, and you stick the dip net down and you scoop up these fish, and they're called Cisco.
Are they like bait
Cisco
fish?
run. It's like a bait fish, but people eat them. You just cook them whole and eat them. But
Like a sardine.
they're only found like here and in Loch Ness. It's like the 2 lakes in the world that those are found, and you cannot find this fish any time of the year other than that. You will never catch them in the lake. It's not like, oh, I accidentally caught a Cisco during the summer. No, they're not there. You don't see them. They go deep, deep, deep down. They haven't even found the bottom of this lake in some areas. It goes really, really deep down, and they stay down there. And then during this like 1 week period, they do what's called the Cisco Disco, and they out there, everyone's dancing and skipping and dipping, and you can scoop up a couple hundred fish in just a few minutes. And it's and you do use them for bait as well. You can like freeze them and use them for bait later in the year. But
this kind of reminds me of a first date story.
I would have loved to take Mrs. RA up to Bear Lake, but it is so cold up there. The wind blows. It's just people die. I mean, like boats flip. It's crazy. It has really, really bad weather, but the lake itself is like blue, like the Caribbean. It's brilliant blue.
Kind of like Lake Tahoe, I guess. Have you been over there?
I haven't been there, but I've seen some pictures, and yes, like that. But it's like mineral in the water that makes it very light blue.
That's awesome. I love it.
So
ice fishing and first dates and Cisco, not the wrapper, but the fish.
And they have a Bear Lake monster as well. Donna E pointed this out. They have a monster. They have a monster, and Loch Ness has a monster. Coincidence? That also the two lakes also share the same species of fish that don't exist anywhere else in the world. There could be a tunnel between the 2 lakes. I'm telling you, these theories are out there, and so.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, good stuff. But anyway, did I tell you what she does? She goes out water skiing, and she's water skis at that lake, which is first of all cold. I've swummed. But I swim in the past tense in that lake, and it is cold. It is freezing cold.
Don't worry, Adam will correct you here real quick.
Swim, swam, swum. One of the 3. Swam, says Cachette.
Swim, swam, swam. Speaking of swimming, the weather, people are going to be swimming everywhere. The Northeast is going to get a ton of rain. The East is going to get rain and severe weather, and then the Southeast is going to get more rain, potentially hail, tornadoes, damaging winds. It's going to happen. Starting in just a few hours from now, East Texas, Southern Arkansas, Louisiana, you're looking at some pretty heavy weather moving in. Again, these are overnight hours. So if you have the means to keep your phone on to where you get alerts, if you have weather radios, anything like that, you need to check it before you go to bed. Make sure you have warnings that are audible. And then as the morning we get into daylight, the whole system is just going to move from that area and just slide over into the Southeast and gingerly move northeast. So severe weather again, round 2 of what we did.
Everybody gets a piece of this one. It's north to south, east to west. You all get a little bit, whether it's the snowstorm that's come through, whether it's the winds, whether it's the tornadoes. I guess you told me before the show that pretty much chance of tornadoes, wind, a little bit of rain, lightning,
hail,
hail,
yeah. And then just following up on because as we talk about the low pressure systems, they move counterclockwise. So on what would be the northwestern side of this low pressure system, that's where you see all the winter weather and the snow. So the central plains and the Midwest, you're looking at it again. Chicago's predicted to get tons and tons of snow in all surrounding areas as well. So it's the same storm system moving across the U.S., just in different regions with different temperatures, different humidity levels, different wind shears. It produces different types of weather, even though it's the same storm. So between early morning tomorrow. We're just talking in a few hours. All the way through into Monday, people are going to be seeing weather all over the place. So Crafty Grandma, 74, where Crafty Grandma was in Texas today. Same, we were 70. But by Tuesday morning, it's going to be 6 below zero with the wind chill. So it's a big system that's been moving through. And on top of that severe weather that's coming through early morning tomorrow and then into tomorrow afternoon, massive cold blast is just swathing through the United States from north to south. I mean, we're looking at wind chills below zero down in Austin and San Antonio, Texas, which is far south. Usually doesn't get affected quite as bad, but it's happening between now and Tuesday as well. So
I'm going to have to go drive down to Florida again, because I really want to see iguanas falling out of the trees. I've heard about this phenomenon happening when they just get too cold. It doesn't kill them. At least I think they don't kill them. I think they just basically just go into hibernation, sort of, and
correct.
They just drop out of the tree because they're done holding on at that point. It's like, too cold. I'm done. Like, bail me out. It's too freezing here. But I would love to see iguanas falling out of the trees.
Absolutely. But that's what we got. So I may go live again. Depends on the timing and everything tomorrow. What do we got? Sandy Outer Banks says here in the Outer Banks we had 103 wind gust at the pier, and I said last night. It's great. That is crazy.
They had 2 tornadoes this week out there by can't remember the point, the island. I've been out there a million times, but yeah, just crazy weather out on the East Coast as well.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. So everyone keep an eye on your forecast. I'm sure everyone does this time of year. Things get goofy and silly, and so people are tuning in and watching what they got coming, especially with winter weather. But again, in the Southeast, we don't always see tornadoes this time of year, and it's a thing that's happening and they're coming in. So keep an eye on the weather. I'll go live at some point tomorrow once Scott's done with the show. But other than that, I've got to run down and check my mail because I forgot.
Dodie Speeding says, I lived here 25 years. I've never seen an iguana fall out of the trees. This week's going to be the week, Dodie. This is when it's going to happen.
You got to jump on YouTube and search falling iguanas and see what comes up.
It's going to be awesome. And wherever you are, please stay safe and warm. Check on your neighbors, man. There's a lot of people out there who you might not be as prepared as some of the rest of us. And so do a favor. Do a favor and just check on them. Make sure they're okay. Make sure they're aware of what's coming. Call your family. Do all the fun things. Do all the good things. You won't regret it. I promise.
That's right. I mentioned I got to go check my mail because I went on a bike ride instead of doing that, which I always do. And because I ordered something from Amazon, I ordered a chicken and an egg. I'll let you know.
There we go. And on that note, we're going to wrap things up. You guys, it's been a lot of fun tonight with all of you. Thanks for taking us down memory lane a little bit as we talked about some of our favorites from times gone by. Appreciate all the great suggestions. And now I have a million different TV shows to watch, and all of them are good.
We've got a lot of catching up to. Thank you so much, everyone that came to join us tonight. We will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah. It might even be earlier. It might be 8:45 because we're doing catch up on the show. We're doing the Treehouse trial, and it's pro se defendant. And he's sort of doing all right. So it's different. It's different.
I like it.
We're in Florida, so you never know. We might hear about falling iguanas tomorrow. That's when we catch up on the weather down there.
You never know. I just learned something too. Be there or be square. I just learned that. Be square
like
means because you're not around. I just figured out what it meant. I learned that like 2 days ago.
I was today years old. I was today years old when I first heard that.
On that note.
Awesome.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Have a good one. We'll see you.